Hey everybody, welcome to another Tuesday night webinar with Avena Originals. My name is Cameron Terry, and I'll be your host tonight. If you guys want to communicate with me during the webinar tonight, please use the chat feature. So it should be located on the right-hand side of your screen. You'll also see red dots appear whenever I offer anything, like specials or discounts, things like that. Hello, Dolores. Hi, Linda. Welcome to tonight's call. How's everybody doing tonight? It's pretty crazy hot out there, isn't it? Hello, Tara. Hope everybody's found ways to stay cool and you're getting outside and enjoy some of that sunlight. So tonight's topic is a powerful healing force. We're going to talk about something in our bodies that we can consume that actually drives change, that cleanses and detoxifies a cell, literally can make new cells, fight disease, and it's going to be a fun little chat. So I'm just waiting a few minutes while other people log in here. I'll be good to go. Anybody have any questions before we get started? So the format's going to be very similar to normal. I've got a presentation that I want to walk us through. I've got a few demonstrations that I'm going to do. I have an offer to provide for you guys that are on the live call tonight. We're going to be giving away free bottles of enzymes. So make sure you guys stick in and stay tuned till the end of the conversation, end of the presentation tonight to get that coupon code. If you have any questions on anything that I'm presenting during the talk, feel free to post that right away in the chat. I may not be able to answer them right away for you, but I will at the end of the presentation go back through the chat and answer any unanswered questions. Okay? All right, everybody, let's get started. Just going to turn on presentation here. Here we go. Powerful healing force. So if nutrients like vitamins, minerals, amino acids, fats, your carbs, your proteins are all tools that your body uses to create cells and tissues and health, then what nutrient actually drives the change and is so essential in the application of all these other nutrients? In other words, without this nutrient that I'm going to be talking about, no vitamins, no minerals, amino acids, fats, or carbs are even utilized. And it's so important that it was abundant in everything you ever ate. So imagine a nutrient that works in every organ, every tissue, every gland. The same nutrient can repair cells, detoxify chemicals and toxins. It creates new nutrients from old ones. It can supercharge natural processes and the body's natural functions. And the best of all, it used to be free and abundant in all living foods. And you guys guess where we're at? Would this not be the ultimate nutrient? Something you should put a higher priority on over any of the vitamins or minerals or antioxidants or special sugars or you name it? Something that is actually required for all your other nutrients to be utilized. It's true. The chances that you're receiving the required level of this mystery nutrient is 0.3%. This is making the assumption that you're living the North American standard type of diet and lifestyle. It's as systemic as it exists in almost every form of diet out there. So the problem is, almost every diet that we're experiencing today, every type of food that we're eating is missing this nutrient. And it is so important that it is the basis of all life. Without this nutrient, you cease to exist. Some of you guys have already figured out what I'm talking about here. So out of all these different diets that I just mentioned, how many do you guys think there are? How many diets do you think are out there? Anybody? Too many is right. Very right. Some of the popular ones, vegetarian, veganism, Atkins, right now is probably keto. When I looked it up on Wikipedia, there were over 100 different diets listed. What does that tell us? How many diets did Grandma and Grandpa have? One. How many diets do we have today? Hundreds. What in the world happened in the last 100 years that went from having one diet to feeling the need to have 100 different diets? What this is telling me anyways is that people today realize that the food they're eating is not providing the level of nutrition, energy, and health that they expect it to. And so they're constantly looking for a different way of eating to achieve that exact purpose. So what is the common link here? When we look at several of these popular ones on Wikipedia, vegan, keto, vegetarian, Atkins, fruitarian, diabetic, gluten-free, flexitarian, etc. All of them are about removing something, right? Vegans remove all animal byproducts. Vegetarian remove the animal consumption itself. Atkins is about removing carbs. Keto is about high fat, low carbs. Fruitarian is everything but fruit. Diabetics are your hypoglycemic foods. Gluten-free obviously removes gluten, etc. If we continue to look and demonize one of our foods, we're going to constantly come up with different ways of arranging foods and eliminating of foods, thinking that it's going to provide the answer. I believe each and every one of these need to add something instead of remove something. If you added this nutrient that I'm going to talk about to veganism, vegetarian, Atkins, fruitarian, diabetics, gluten-free, it would improve the functionality of that diet no matter what profile you're following. You guys ready? It's enzymes. Enzymes are the missing link in every single diet. They are the powerful healing force inside of our system. They're so essential that your liver makes it a priority to produce enzymes over top of your priority to maintain health. In other words, your liver will produce enzymes even if it means you have to sacrifice part of your body or health. Without enzymes, you'll always feel like you're not getting all you want out of your food. Because the reality is you're not. Without enzymes, you cannot get what you're looking for and what you want out of the food that you're consuming. Enzymes are the key to unlocking potential to humans' most powerful natural healing abilities. And I'm sure by now you guys have heard some of these fantastic stories, from Bernard Jensen to my mother's story to Michael O'Brien's stories and the countless others that have used enzymes to unlock the body's powerful healing ability and come back from diseases and illnesses that we thought were impossible to recover from. What we are witnessing enzymes achieve today is truly remarkable. I'm very excited for the future and the validation of enzyme therapies. You see, in North America, enzyme therapy does not get a lot of coverage and a lot of appreciation or a lot of awareness. But outside of North America, like in Europe, for example, there are lots of countries that actually encourage and are utilizing enzyme therapy through intravenous and seen the incredible results with it. Cynthia's asking, do enzymes break down cooked meats? Absolutely they do, Cynthia. Enzymes are essential to breaking down cooked and raw meats. The spark of life. Enzymes are the active catalyst for every process in your body. I'm going to just say that again. Enzymes are the active catalyst for every process in your body. Think about the blood cells and the hormones and the digestion and the recovery and the regeneration and the detoxification, the forming of muscle tissues. Every process requires enzymes. That's how incredible they are and how essential they are. Your body is trying to produce massive levels of metabolic enzymes. But to do that, it actually requires an intake of plant-based enzymes to achieve that process. See, traditionally, enzymes are only thought of digestive aids, which is important because they are a very important part of digesting and assimilating our food. The problem is our food today is missing enzymes. You guys know what this is? A bowl of oatmeal? I want to show us an example of digestion, because that's kind of the topic we're on right now. So I have 2 glasses with oatmeal in it. This is just Quaker Quick Oats, boiled. Now they're at room temperature. Grandma said, eat your oatmeal, stick to your ribs. This is why. Sure enough, sticks to the glass, stick to your ribs. How long do you guys think that this would take just sitting on my desk to liquefy, to digest into a complete liquid that the body could utilize or assimilate it? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, days? Any guesses? I would say never. I've done it. I've forgot oatmeal on the counter before. It dries out and turns into like a rock hard solid lump. It never liquefies. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to take a super digestive enzyme. I would normally use an enhanced digestive enzyme, but these are open on my desk from my personal supply. And I just need one. And try to keep it in view the whole time. And I'm going to pull it apart. Just like that. And then I'm going to dump it into this oatmeal. And I don't have a spoon. Without a spoon, I'm going to use my pen. And I'm just going to mix that oatmeal together with that enzyme. What is happening right now as we speak? Those enzymes are interacting with the carbohydrates, proteins, and fats in that oatmeal. It is ripping them apart and starting to liquefy them. What you're going to see here is this is going to turn into a complete liquid. And it's going to happen pretty quick. Like already, I don't know if you guys can see this, how soft this is in here. It was rock solid before. I was turning it upside down before. I turn upside down now. See how stuff's falling out of it already? And that's just only been a couple seconds of digestion. If you guys can see this, but look in here. See how soft this is? It's breaking down into a liquid so quickly and easily. This is the power of enzymes. And this is why enzymes are in every food, everything you would ever eat. And today, the chance of you getting enzymes is very little to none. Do you guys see this? Look at that. Just for comparison, the other one, this one's already, see how it's already almost like a liquid? Look at that spin around in there. See if I can get that camera to. Isn't that awesome? You know, I've done a lot of enzyme presentations before, and people are like, remember that enzyme talk you did? It was fantastic. It taught me so much about enzymes. I forgot most of it. But the oatmeal, I remember that oatmeal. This one's been sitting on my desk for upside down for a while now. Should I try it with this other one? Imagine this in your body with heat and gastric enzymes, and that was only one enzyme. All right, let's let that sit. I'm going to proceed with my presentation. We'll come back and check that in a few minutes. All right, so living without enzymes is like running on dead batteries. Imagine your body as a battery, and the amount of energy that you save up every night is the amount of energy that you can spend the next day. So when you eat raw food, raw salads or fresh fruits and vegetables, you're providing enzyme activity. And that enzyme activity is allowing your body to do X amount of healing, X amount of energy. But see how this is only like a fourth of your body's potential energy? When you add enhanced digestive enzymes at meals, you increase that potential energy. Now we're at about 50% of the potential energy the body has. How do we get to the rest? Well, by adding something like the super digestive enzyme on an empty stomach will maximize your potential. So the enhanced digestive enzymes are designed with your food to digest, liquefy your food, just like this oatmeal is doing right here. But the super digestive enzymes are more therapeutic. They're designed to get into your bloodstream, your organs, your tissues, your glands. Do you guys know that digestion is the most extensive calorie burning requirement of your body every single day? You can burn up to 1,500 to almost 2,000 calories consuming food every day. Imagine if you were able to remove 1,500 to 2,000 calories worth of effort off your digestive system by adding in enzymes. That is hours of increased energy that you could use for healing, for recovery, for doing the garden or running around the block or going to the gym or whatever use you have of that extendable energy. So why are our foods missing in enzymes? Well, first of all, we've intentionally removed enzymes from the store shelf for shelf life. This is in any kind of produce or packaged foods. See, enzymes are what rot the food. When the tomato falls off the vine and lands on the ground, the enzymes activate and are breaking down that tomato, rotting it to return to the soil. So as soon as you harvest that tomato off of the vine, it starts breaking down. Now that's not good if you are harvesting tomatoes in Florida and wanting to sell them in Alberta, Canada, or anywhere outside of your local area. So what we've learned to do is learn to destroy enzymes without affecting the look or the taste of the food. Now these tomatoes will last months instead of days. Second of all, foods grown on mineral deficient soils. Mineral deficiencies actually create the plants to overextend themselves on enzymes, trying to microbialize the soil to get more minerals from the dirt. Third is we spray it with chemicals like pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, which also kill any living enzymes in the food. Fourth thing we do is premature harvesting. If enzymes are like a battery, then the charge, the filling up the full charge of that battery happens while it ripens. So when you pick a plant or fruit or a vegetable before it ripens on the vine, you've stolen it before it's finished. and the enzymes didn't get to mature. They didn't get to get charged. It's almost like getting dead enzymes. The last thing we do, number 5, that should be on that list, is assume your food was locally grown by yourself on mineral-rich soils with no sprays or chemicals, and you picked it when it was ripe. If you bring it inside and you cook it over 105 to 118 degrees Fahrenheit, you've destroyed all the enzymes in that food. And this is why no other species on this planet consumes cooked food. And if we force a different species to eat cooked food, they start getting the same diseases that we do: arthritis and diabetes and tumors and cysts and growths, lethargic, tiredness, osteoporosis. These are all common in any animal that you feed cooked food to. What does enzyme deficient food lead to? Well, it leads to bowel toxemia, which 2 weeks ago we talked about the importance of bowel toxemia and how that creates such a high level of toxins, and how many of us, including myself, believe that that is the start of disease. It also causes premature degeneration. Without enough enzymes in your body, you can't undo the stresses and the damages you put on your body that day. And so tomorrow, you're in a state of degeneration. And the next day, you degenerated a little bit more. And every day, you're getting a little bit older. And that's happening much faster than it should. See, in the state we call homeostasis, which is like perfectly balanced health, you really don't age very much at all. You age very slowly. The less enzymes you have, the faster you age. The third thing it does is it puts enormous stress on your liver. I'm just going to take the next few slides to walk us through what that looks like and how that is. So this is your liver, your gallbladder, your pancreas, and that little flesh-colored tube in the middle would be your small intestine. So your liver cannot keep up to the enzyme requirements by your organs, tissues, and glands if you are eating cooked or processed foods. That's a fact. Your ability to heal or maintain your health is directly tied to the level of enzymes you have available each and every day. In other words, your body will use every available enzyme to express the perfect version of your health. The problem is it runs out of enzymes long before it runs out of the perfect expression of your health, that homeostasis. And the human liver is the most overburdened organ in our bodies. A drop in metabolic enzymes directly results in a drop in your health. This is your pancreas. I like to call the pancreas like the paramedic of your body. See, in a healthy digestion, in a healthy state, your pancreas doesn't really have to work very hard. If your liver is absorbing and secreting glucose as it should, then your blood sugar levels never get too high and insulin is hardly ever produced. And if it is produced, it's produced in very small levels. If you're getting all the enzymes you are from your food, then proper digestion has happened. Your pancreas doesn't have to steal enzymes to make digestive enzymes. So when we look at all these different processes the pancreas does, almost all of them are like emergency responses, kind of like a paramedic. You don't want to call your paramedic every day. Actually, you hope you don't see him very often at all. And you hope that he doesn't have to work, because when that 911 button is hit and he has to jump into action, it's never a good situation. Each and every time you consume food without enzymes, you're forcing the pancreas to steal enzymes from other parts of your body and convert them into digestive enzymes. So does this make sense that we would steal from our heart, our kidneys, our lungs, our muscles, our connective tissues, or the collagens in our body to digest our food? It definitely shouldn't be that way, and it's not intended to be that way. This process not only robs Peter to pay Paul, but the conversion process also requires enzymes to convert them. So really, it's like having to steal 2 enzymes to make 1 digestive enzyme. This is okay if you very rarely ever have cooked food or enzyme deficient food. But the fact is, in North America, almost all foods are missing enzymes. Remember that stat at the beginning? 0.3% of you are likely getting the required amount of enzymes in your food. Remember, the pancreas and the production of digestive enzymes is a backup process and is not designed to run every day. All of these digestive enzymes were supposed to be and expected to be in your food supply. The duodenum. 90% of your food absorption happens in the first 12 inches of your small intestine. And your pancreas introduces digestive enzymes here. Let's just back up. See this little green tube that runs through your pancreas? It comes in not at the beginning of your small intestine. It comes in about 12 inches, which is, according to biology, after most of the absorption happens. So this tells us that the pancreas producing digestive enzymes, biology-wise, was never designed to do it for the absorption of your food. It was more or less designed to do that to prevent and stop bowel blockages and bowel toxemia. Because if the natural process was supposed to be for your small or your pancreas to produce the digestive enzymes needed, then you would think the pancreas would introduce those enzymes into the stomach, where the liquefaction is supposed to be happening, so the small intestine can absorb all the nutrition as soon as it gets in there, because 90% of your food absorption happens in that first 12 inches. This process that you guys just learned, the liver producing metabolic enzymes, the pancreas producing digestive enzymes by stealing enzymes from your body, and your small intestine not being able to absorb your nutrition because of that, this process is the most abused system in our body. We stick the worst foods, the worst junk foods, the worst combination of foods into our mouths and into our stomach and into our intestinal systems and pray that our bodies can figure it out. And our bodies do amazing jobs at finding ways of coping with that nightmare that we just introduced it to. But there are heavy taxes and prices that we pay for that, and some of them are disease, illness, and premature degeneration. Imagine what would happen if every day you called the paramedic at every meal. Would he be happy with you? Would he keep showing up? The stress we are causing is incredible. Let's look at 4 of the major food macronutrients. First of all, you've got a protease enzyme. Protease is what digests protein in your body. So what happens if you were protease deficient and not able to digest the proteins? Well, undigested proteins, they putrefy. And in a putrefied state, you're likely to experience bacterial, viral, yeast, and fungal infections, chronic infections, fibromyalgia, lupus, things like PMS, IBS, MS, muscular dystrophy, Crohn's, endometriosis, and acne. Even things like Parkinson, Alzheimer's, depression, anxiety attacks, insomnia, muscle tone degeneration, cancers, and tumors are also far more likely to happen and appear when there isn't enough protease in your system to prevent it. Second is amylase. Amylase is what digests your carbohydrates into sugars in your body. And so when you don't have enough amylase in your body and not able to produce the amylase that you need, your undigested carbohydrates, they ferment. And this fermentation process is going to make it far more present for allergies, respiratory disorders, inflammation and joint problems such as like arthritis, gas, bloating, and weight gain, sinus congestion, skin rashes and eruptions, even histamine reactions like insect bites, stings, poison ivies, all of those type of responses. Third is lipase. Lipase enzyme deficiency. What happens when lipids, which are like your lipids, your fats, are not digested in your system? Well, undigested fats, they rancidify. And this rancidification will likely cause chronic inflammational conditions, psoriasis, cardiovascular conditions, and plaquing of your arteries, can cause and lead to cellulite, high blood pressure, high cholesterol and triglycerides, also as well as fatty tumors and fatty cysts, are far more likely to be present and capable of forming when you don't have enough lipase available. And the last one we're going to talk about is cellulase. Cellulase breaks down the fibers and the cellulose in our foods. What happens when cellulose and fibers are not digested? Well, you're going to be far more likely to develop things like candida, yeast infection, bacterial imbalances, parasite infections, absorption issues, bowel toxemia, constipation, and even diarrhea. So if you have any of these symptoms that we just walked through, the likelihood is that you are missing or deficient in those enzymes. The good news is Avena actually markets and has formulated these individual enzymes into a therapeutic blend. So you can focus just on cellulase if you want, or amylase, or protease, or lipase. They're all available on our website at a great price. Want to check out that oatmeal again? Let's do it. Here's that oatmeal. Look at this. This is, I would call that a liquid now, right? Not a solid. Compared to that original one. See what I mean? Oatmeal. Great example. Remember this. I wouldn't dare turn this one upside down like I just did that one. It would probably fry the computer and this webinar would be over. Let me know in the chat if you think the webinar is a good example, I guess. If that's that visual is helping you guys. All right. So here we are back to enzymes, the missing link in every diet. You're starting to hopefully understand how important they are, because this topic is way bigger, way deeper than we can do on this, 30-minute to 45-minute webinar. Here's some things that I want to set aside with Avena's enzyme blend. First of all, it's the very best enzyme on the market. This is the enzyme that Michael Bryan used, that my mother used, that Bernard Jensen used. This enzyme is far beyond what I find in any other store shelves. Even the high-end, high-quality, highly priced enzymes don't even compare. Second of all, we don't use any dairy products. We don't use any magnesium stearate in it. There's no GMO, no soy, no additives, no wheat, no gluten, no corn. This is a super clean, whole food, 100% plant-based enzyme. Now we have two different types of enzymes, and people often get confused. And I don't blame them for getting confused, because Health Canada is keeping it confusing. And sometimes I think they're doing that intentionally. We have an enhanced digestive enzyme and a super digestive enzyme. Yuki, I did not add any water to it. You've watched me this whole time. Designed for optimal digestion, the enhanced digestive enzymes are the perfect balance between priority enzymes. 3 times the strength of most enzymes, natural ingredients, 100% cultured enzymes, whole food ingredients. And just to touch on Yuki's comment here that she thinks I added water to it, do this at home, guys. Do it yourself. Quaker Quick Oats, boil some water, cook it up till it's this thick paste just like this. Open 1 or 2 capsules of your enzymes, stir it in there really good. Don't add water to it, and watch the liquefaction. That's the best part about this, is you don't require anything special. If you think I mimicked with it, do it at home. Do it for your friends, do it for your family members. It works every single time. So let's stack these two up beside each other. Enhanced digestive enzymes and super digestive enzymes. The enhanced digestive enzyme is an enhanced formula to our previous full spectrum enzyme. The super digestive enzyme is more like a therapeutic enzymes. And that was the intention, to actually call it therapeutic enzymes. But currently, right now in Canada, you can't license an enzyme for anything outside of digestion. And so we can't talk about the therapeutic benefits, and I definitely can't label it or call it a therapeutic enzyme when I can only sell it as a super digestive enzyme. So when we look at the differences here, the enhanced digestive enzyme is 3 times the strength of most enzymes on the market. It's 100% natural ingredients. It's 100% cultured enzymes, and we're using whole food cofactors. The super digestive enzyme is designed for therapeutic use. It contains catalase, and I'll touch on why catalase is important in just a few minutes. It also contains hydroxycobalamin, which is a form of vitamin B12 that eats up the cyanide in our system. It cleanses your blood, your tissues, your organs. Now this one is 3 times the strength of our enhanced digestive enzyme, which is also still the perfect balance of priority enzymes, 100% cultured enzymes, nothing but natural ingredients. How would you use these? The green in the bottom would help us there. Try taking 5 with each meal of the enhanced enzyme, and then try taking 5 of the super digestive enzymes in between meals. So remember that catalase enzyme that I touched on? This is called the longevity enzyme, and it's one of the most powerful antioxidants that we know. For an example, hydrogen peroxide. When the immune system is activated in response to pathogens, large amounts of hydrogen peroxide are produced to kill off these pathogens. Researchers have studied how important this is because levels of hydrogen peroxide become too high. A cell's DNA and other proteins can be damaged. You know what we call a cell with a damaged DNA? A malignant cell. Also, what happens with too high of hydrogen peroxide levels get in our tissues, especially in our hair tissues, as the hair comes through that hydrogen peroxide, what happens? It bleaches your hair. And that can be a major reason why we're having graying of our hair early in life. So high levels of hydrogen peroxide can lead to cancer, diabetes, graying of the hair, and many other diseases. Look at this. 1 unit of catalase will convert 1 million units of hydrogen peroxide into oxygen, one of the most important nutrients in our system. 1 unit of catalase converts 1 million units of hydrogen peroxide into oxygen. Do you guys see the benefit and the value of taking a super digestive enzyme with catalase in it every single day? Absolutely, you should. So who should use enzymes? Well, anybody looking for helping their body through whole food blood cleansing and cellular regeneration. Anybody wanting to nutritionally support symptoms like cysts, inflammation, chronic fatigue, allergies, hay fever, acne, rashes, hypoglycemia or diabetes, high blood pressure, low blood pressure, obesity, premature graying of the hair, or constantly struggling with constipation or diarrhea. What you need to understand is enzymes don't do the curing of the disease. They're simply the catalyst that the body uses to facilitate the work that it wants to do. So Avena's enzymes are incredible. They outperform any other enzyme on the market. We use them all the time. And I know they've made a huge difference in my life. If you guys aren't familiar with my story or my mother's story, back in 1996, my mother was diagnosed with terminal lupus. And she was given 2 weeks to live. She couldn't walk or crawl or even eat a banana. Every inch of her body was covered in a rash. It was dripping uric acid because one kidney had completely failed and the other kidney was on the verge of failing. With no hope, no success anywhere, we turned to an enzyme therapy. And we started consuming hundreds of enzymes every single day. And you know what happened? In 8 months, my mother fully recovered, both kidneys at 100% functional, looking fantastic, walking, talking, working full-time jobs again, eating anything she desired, and fully recovered, and never had a symptom of lupus ever reappear in her body. And so enzymes are special to me. They saved my mother, and they gave us our family back. How could you not witness something like that right before your eyes and think that it wasn't related to this? So guys, I just published this offer that we've got on how to get a free bottle of enzymes. Check it out. While you're doing that, I'm just going to talk about 3 results, 3 stories just recently with enzymes. Cindy Layton talked about how she lost 60 pounds, reversed all of her allergies, and have never felt more amazing. I could have not done it without Avena's enzymes. Nicole from Red Deer says 2 weeks on Avena's enzymes and my lactose intolerance was gone, never to return, even after 10 years of drinking lattes. Thank you, Avena. My dog stole my enzyme jar, chewed through it, ate the whole container. We started giving it to him, and all his cysts and black spots have completely disappeared. Thank you, Avena. So guys, for the rest of the night tonight, I've got 12 bottles of Enhanced Digestive Enzyme 180s that we're giving away for free. All you need to do is place an order over $250 and have an enzyme 180 count in your cart. Apply the coupon code enzyme 728. Sorry, not 421. You need to do enzyme 728 on the right-hand side. And that'll discount the 100% of the cost of the Enhanced Digestive Enzyme 180. You guys got that? Subtotal of $250, as well as have an Enhanced Digestive Enzyme 180 count in your cart on the website. Enter the code enzyme728, all one word, no spaces. There's 12 units available. After the 12th one is sold, the coupon will stop working. The other aspect is the coupon stops no matter what at midnight tonight. So you guys only have about 5 hours and 20 minutes left to be able to capitalize on that. Oh, I just see the units went down to 11. Somebody just bought one. Thank you to whoever that was. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back through the chat and look at any of the questions. I'm just going to leave this up on the screen for a little bit. Just remember the coupon code here is different on screen. It's enzymes 728. What do we have for questions, guys? Cynthia said, do enzymes break down cooked meats? I answered this in the presentation, but absolutely, enzymes do liquefy cooked meats. It takes a much longer period of time than raw meat does, but the digestion still happens. Unfortunately, enzymes don't have the ability to unbind those amino acids. Remember 2 weeks ago when we talked about the binding of lysine and how that made so many other amino acids practically worthless? Enzymes can't undo that. Once you cook that food, those enzymes are damaged and there's no coming back. But enzymes will at least allow you to digest, liquefy, and get the remaining nutrition out of that meat. Bernadine, yes, Avena Originals have been around for a long time. We keep doing that enzyme therapy or that enzyme example or visualization because it works. People remember it. And every time they see oatmeal, they remember how important enzymes are. Sonia's asking, why do healthcare professionals encourage people with leaky gut to not eat raw foods? Usually because there's a ton of inflammation, and raw foods without enzymes are hard to digest, and they cause that irritation. But I don't think that healthcare professionals are looking at it with the idea of what if you took raw foods and enzymes together and you liquefied all that raw food into a complete liquid? I don't think it would be any concern, and I don't think that it would cause any of that irritation. In fact, my experience has been enzymes help deal with inflammation. And enzymes are one of the key things we can use to improve leaky gut systems. Yeah, so that's your next question, Sonia. With enzymes, raw food could be eaten? I think so. Chew your food really well. Add in the enzymes early, and I don't think you would have a problem. Sandy's asking, how many enhanced digestive enzymes should we be taking each day? Ideally, with today's food the way it is, 5 capsules with every meal. And yes, at every meal. The only meal that I would suggest you don't necessarily need to take 5 enzymes is if you went to your garden, your own garden you grew, and you picked all the food that you're going to eat for supper out of your own garden raw, and you didn't cook any of it. If you're having a beautiful salad from your own garden and 100% raw, you probably don't need the enzymes in that scenario. Cynthia says the enzymes also increased in volume because you're breaking everything apart. And so as you break down these tightly bound bonds, they take up more space. Does that make sense? Imagine something like packed really tight together, like a Lego, for example. And if you rip it all apart into the individual pieces, it would take up a larger volume in that glass. Yuki's saying it's ironic to only see enzymes in chemical cleaners like laundry detergents. And they always state the amazing power of enzymes to break stains down. But it's also amazing at your food and your health and your toxins and inside your body. It plays such an incredible role. Sonia, so super digestive enzymes are only for in between meals? That is their purpose, to be on an empty stomach, because they are almost overkill for digestion. So taking them with your food, taking super digestive enzymes with your food still does a crazy awesome job at digesting your food. And you can always use the super digestive enzymes to help you digest your food, but you don't need that much enzymes for food. So the enhanced digestive enzyme with your food is the right tool for the right job. You're not going to overspend on digestion. As if you're using the super digestive enzyme to digest your food, that's like using your Ferrari sports car to go to the grocery store and get milk. It totally is functional and able to do it, but probably not the most gas efficient way of going and picking up that milk or nuts, seeds, fruits, veggies, whatever you want. My wrist is doing amazing, guys. So Cynthia says I sprained my wrist in a week. It was incredibly better in a week. In the last little while, there's a tiny little bit. If I put a ton of weight or pressure on it, it reminds me that I need to be conscious of it. But I'm carrying those big 18-liter water jugs with this wrist already, and it doesn't bother me at all. It's feeling amazing. So enzymes have rapidly sped up the recovery of my wrist. Marika's asking, how soon after surgery would you recommend resuming super digestive enzymes? Well, unless your doctor's saying not to, I would start immediately after surgery. Enzymes are the catalysts that are going to be repairing the tissues and preventing scar tissue from forming. And so that's what we want to happen. The longer we wait, the more scar tissue likelihood there's going to be. So an enzyme, let the enzymes get in there and start putting those tissues back together in the best possible way that they can. So I would do enzymes immediately after surgery, as soon as I was able to, unless, of course, your medical doctor is advising you not to. Then that's something you would have to make a decision for yourself. Donna's saying, I'm almost done antibiotics for H. pylori, so should I take it afterwards? I had never even heard of it till diagnosed. Helicobacter pylori? Yes, absolutely. Remember that protease list of deficiencies? Bacterial, fungal, viral infections? Having more enzymes in your system makes it much harder for H. pylori to reinfect you or to survive. So taking super digestive enzymes on an empty stomach is going to set your body up to be better protected from these bacterial infections. Don's got a question about the herb cocktail, or the HC cleanse it's now called. Taking the herb cocktail, is it only with pulp orange juice that has the greatest effect, or is regular OJ more effective than water? So regular orange juice is more effective than water because you get the acidity to activate that gelling process that happens faster. The pulp just adds to a better gel. So orange juice with pulp is your ideal, but orange juice without pulp is still better than water. Yes, hopefully that answers your question. How do you feel about plant-based meats like the Impossible Burgers, or what's the other one that's popular out there? Can't recall the name right now. My problem is I don't consider them whole foods. They are still highly processed. The ingredients in some of these are questionable. It's where a lot of the ingredients are okay. The Impossible Burger, I think that's the soy-based burger. I'm not a huge fan of soy. Beyond Meat is the one I was looking for. The Beyond Meat that's using more your beans and lentils and stuff to produce it. It's probably my personal choice out of these plant-based meats. I would go with the Beyond Meat more than I would the Impossible Burger, mostly just because of the soy content. Uh, as a male that is constantly conscious of my testosterone levels, soy is a very estrogen-rich plant, and it really suppresses testosterone production and expression in my body. So I try to avoid soy a lot in my system, as well as a lot of these additional additives. So plant-based meats, jury's out. We don't really know. They're new to the market. Are they going to be better than cooked animal meats? I hope so. Are they as good as eating whole foods out of your fresh garden? No. It is still a highly processed food. Denise is saying, do you take enzymes before you have your meal? I take my enzymes at the start of my meal. So me as my family, we sit down and we give thanks and say grace, and we take our enzymes, and then we start eating. And the reason why I do that is because the enzymes in the natural process would have been in the food. So I would have got the enzymes with the first bite of food. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to recreate or mimic, is the enzymes and then the food within minutes of each other. Sandy, do you recommend it if you have IBS? Absolutely, I recommend enzymes if you have IBS. IBS is part of the inflammatory bowel disease group. And protease, along with several of these enzymes, actually bring down the inflammation. And the more improved your inflammation is, the better. If you were to take the E-Fusion, the enzymes, the proteolytic probiotic, the HC cleanse, and stop all dairy and wheat, we see IBS usually heal up very quickly. Tim's asking if enzymes help with the removal of forms of bone cancer, in my opinion. I would say, I think so. I look back at Bernard Jensen's case where he had prostate cancer that metastasized into his bone, spread into his lymphatics, his blood, his tissues, and several different organs. And he was consuming 500 enzymes a day through a feeding tube. And in that state, his body was able to recover and deal with the metastasization into his bone, the prostate cancer, the lymph, the blood, all these different areas. And so because of what I watched happen with Bernard Jensen and Michael O'Brien and several customers I've worked with, I believe it would. I don't think there's any way that an enzyme isn't going to help. Even if the enzyme doesn't directly work in that bone with that cancer, it is working with everything else in the body so the body can focus and do its natural ability better. Imagine taking like 50% of the workload off of the body so the body can spend 50% more effort naturally dealing with that bone cancer. Dawn sending in her BioKit. That's wonderful. People that aren't on this call that aren't familiar with the BioKit, they are small samples of just your hair and fingernail clippings. You mail it into us and we can run a full diagnostic, I shouldn't really call it diagnostic, but a full analysis on that sample. We test over hundreds of thousands of different known frequencies for diseases, illnesses, deficiencies, viruses, bacteria, chemicals, additives, and histamines, you name it. The system then compares 250,000 different known healing frequencies against those negative frequencies it found in your body, and it matches them up. Almost creates like a customized, perfectly tailored recipe for how to deal with a lot of the energy blockages and frequency issues in your body. It then programs all of that into a homeopathic drop, which is like a crystallized biotight water in a glycerin base, that you can introduce these healing frequencies into your body every day. And these are highly tailored, customized for your needs only. The device will actually come up with how many drops you need per day, how long you need to take it. And so it's a wonderful way of laser targeting the best results possible. This also then goes through this complete list of nutritional products. Which ones are going to work best for your system? How much you need to take of them each and every day to get you into a better position. It also includes a 30-minute consultation with a therapist that can help you set up a program and a protocol, programs, all of that, so that you get this information, you know exactly the right products to take. You've got the healing homeopathics, as well as a schedule and a protocol to get you on the right path. And I think that's only $125. So it's an incredible deal for what you're getting. You can find that on our website if you just search test, or if you look under amazing extras, it's called Electrical Reflex Analysis Test Kit. Thanks, Don, for bringing that up. What mealtime spacing do you suggest for super digestive enzymes? I would suggest an hour after eating for the therapeutic enzymes, and then taking your digestive enzymes or your enhanced enzymes with each meal, the start of every meal. What do you recommend to replace Avena's pet probiotics? I would use the proteolytic probiotics. So the pet probiotics were the same strains, they were just the weaker quantities, the stuff that didn't meet the quality control to be as a high quality of what we guaranteed. So if it was underneath of that guaranteed level, we used it in the pet product. So there's absolutely no problem using the pet probiotics, the proteolytic probiotics with your pets. I've done it with my dogs, my friends' cats, animals, and I have equestrian owners, right, that own like highly prized or highly expensive racehorses that use proteolytic probiotics and enzymes in their racehorses. Don's asking, after drinking the herb cocktail, the HC cleanse, is it advisable to drink a whole bunch of water? Not right after. You want to take that 6 to 8 ounces with the herb cocktail. You should be drinking more water throughout the next 24 hours, but wait about an hour before you start drinking lots of water. We don't want to have so much liquid in there that we can't get that ideal gelling to happen. So 6 to 8 ounces, that teaspoon to tablespoon of herb cocktail, shake it up, drink it, and then wait about an hour before you start consuming more water again. And then for the next 24 hours after that, try to drink at least an extra liter of water than you normally do when you're not detoxifying. Do I know of any raw food support groups? Oh, there's a whole bunch of them on Facebook. I think if you were to look or search on Facebook for raw food support groups, you would find them. We used to run a challenge every year. We haven't done it for the last few years, but we used to support a whole group for 90 days going through a raw food process. Holly's saying she saw a program on how they were developed. That's probably the processed meats you're referring to, right? The Beyond Meat and Impossible Bar burgers. Yeah, highly processed foods. Time will tell, I guess, if they are better than meat or not. Kareem is saying your uncle has stage 4 prostate cancer with bone metastasized into the bone. Well, that's very similar to what Bernard Jensen was experiencing. It'd probably be best to call us at the office and we can spend the time with you to walk you through what Bernard Jensen did. That would be my recommendation, is to do exactly what Bernard Jensen did. He had stage 4 prostate cancer spreading through his whole body, given 3 days to live. And in 8 weeks and 1 day, he fully recovered with no sign of cancer in his body. He wrote a book afterwards called Come Alive, My Victory Over Paralysis and Cancer. Donna, the code won't work for you. Make sure you're using enzymes 728. You have to have the enhanced enzyme 180 count bottle, as well as the subtotal being over $250. Should the digestive enzymes be refrigerated? They do not require refrigeration. Just don't get them over 105 degrees Fahrenheit and you'll be perfectly okay. Cupboards, cabinets, those type of things are perfectly okay. There's no harm in putting in the refrigerator, but it's not required at all. Okay, Sonia, let's just jump to the cart here and see if we can figure out what's going on for you. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add 2 enhanced enzyme 500s. As well as a 180. While I have you guys on the line here, I'm just going to troubleshoot that coupon, see if I can figure out what's going on for you. Unless all 12 are already taken, maybe. Do you want to try that again, Sonia? You're right, it's not working for me either. Let's see if we can find out why. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second here, or a couple, probably more like a minute. I'll try to get that to work. All right, just made some changes. I'm going to load that up and try that again. Does anybody else want to give that a try and see if they're still having problems? Frustrating because it was working this afternoon and somebody bought one with a coupon. All right, so guys, if you not sure what's going on here, why it isn't working, but let's do it this way. Remove the enzyme 180 from your guys' carts, and in the note, put in the enzyme 728 code, and we will include an enzyme 180 with your purchase as long as it's over $250. So, but whatever products you want over $250, there's a little box that says like special instructions or referral information. Type in the code there, enzyme 728, for a free bottle of enhanced digestive enzyme 180s. And we will just automatically include that promo on each one of your purchases. And then I'll troubleshoot why this isn't working. So you guys can go ahead and finalize your orders, and we'll honor that right now for you guys. All right, we're over time limit here, guys. So I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you for everybody being part of it. Hopefully you guys renewed your knowledge on enzymes a little bit, and this complete liquid of oatmeal has encouraged you guys to take more enzymes with every meal, but also to start using super digestive enzymes or enhanced enzymes in between each meal. This will slow down your aging process, improve your digestion, and supercharge the good quality food choices you guys are already making. Have a wonderful evening. Find ways of staying cool. Enjoy the heat if you love the heat. And we'll talk to you guys again next week, all right? Bye, everybody. Bless you guys.